We have the latest updates on Julius Randle and his contract extension with the Knicks. And according to SNY's Ian Begley, he gives us some updates on Randle's trade restrictions. We're going to break down all of these latest updates and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Latest updates on Julius Randle's contract extension with the Knicks. All eyes are on Randle and if he's going to sign that extension with New York this offseason, or if the Knicks will look to wait to sign him to an extension next offseason. The only issue is, if they do that, Julius Randle will be in a contract year and he will be an unrestricted free agent once they look to sign him. That means other teams in the league can go to sign Randle as well too. The Knicks would be taking a risk if they wait, but honestly, Randle dealing with all of these injuries, missing the postseason last year, all signs are pointing to the fact that Randle is not going to get that extension from the Knicks this offseason. And according to these latest reports from Ian Begley, it looks like he would agree as well too. Let's break down these latest reports from Ian Begley of SNY on Randle and that contract extension. Begley also helps to give us some updates on Randle's trade restrictions as well too. According to Begley, the only concrete update we have here has to do with Randle's trade restrictions. If the Knicks sign Julius Randle to a big extension, he can no longer be moved prior to the 2025 trade deadline. Players like Randle, who sign big extensions, can't be traded until 6 months after the date of the agreement. Beyond that, I don't have a concrete update for you regarding Randle and that contract extension. Begley states, we reported last month that an extension wasn't at the forefront for Randle or the Knicks. Randle has been eligible for an extension since August 3rd. The Knicks and Randle can agree to an extension at any time between now and June 30th. Based on how things have played out since August 3rd, it seems like neither side is in a rush to get something done. Shout out to Ian Begley of SNY, a great NBA insider, for giving us the following updates about Julius Randle. Randle not signing an extension with the Knicks this offseason is not surprising to me. The fact that for the last few weeks, we have reported that the Knicks and even Julius Randle have not had this contract extension at the forefront of their minds. And according to Begley, there have been no updates on that end as of right now. And that in itself is an update. If the Knicks and Julius Randle have not discussed the contract extension and they have the ability to since August 3rd, then that basically indicates that the Knicks and Randle will not come to terms on a contract extension this offseason. Randle will go into next season in a contract year. He will likely have a monster year. And then the Knicks and Randle will reconvene and likely sign him to a contract extension, not the max, but close to it next offseason, especially if he deserves it. If he does what he needs to do during this regular season, if he shows out during the postseason, if he proves to the Knicks that now that we have the perfect roster around Randle that can unlock all of his abilities, if he shows out and has his best year in terms of basketball in his entire career, I think it's going to go a long way for the Knicks, re-signing him to a very lucrative contract. But Randle is going to define that. He's going to have to show out in the postseason and definitely have to come back from injury without having any lingering effects. And if we know anything about Julius Randle and the fact that he's a physical specimen, I expect one of the best Randle years next season. Bully ball Randle is about to be back, and we're about to see him surrounded with the best possible roster, with shooters, with people who can make the mid-range, and he can trust that pass each and every time. Exactly what you want to see from Randle. The other big update here from Begley is regarding Randle and his trade restrictions. Begley mentioned that if the Knicks sign Randle to a big extension, he can't be moved prior to the 2025 trade deadline. Now, the only reason I'm mentioning that is because it's another option for the Knicks. It's another flexibility option for the Knicks. And if you know anything about Leon Rose and this Knicks front office, they are never, ever going to limit themselves. I'm not saying they're looking for a Randle trade, but if they see at the trade deadline that a superstar becomes available, and that superstar can add up to Julius Randle and a couple of other players, the Knicks might pull the trigger on that type of trade. Because I said it before and I'll say it again. Randle is not available for any trades at all. But if you're talking about superstar caliber trades, players that are in the tier of a Giannis or a Joker, then the Knicks will definitely listen. And if the trade makes sense, the Knicks might do it. That's another option. Another reason why the Knicks will not limit themselves by giving Randle that contract extension this offseason. We also have an update on the Knicks free agent target, Omer Yurtseven. As it was reported recently, the Knicks worked him out, but elected not to sign him to a roster spot. And because of that, it looks like an international team is now targeting him to add him to their roster. Let's break down these latest reports about Yurtseven. According to the website Basketball Network, they state the following. Greek international team Panathinaikos are now actively pursuing Omer Yurtseven after the New York Knicks chose not to sign him. The Greek club has extended an official offer to him, and there's optimism that the player will join the team. NBA insider Mark Stein reports that the Knicks auditioned Yurtseven but chose not to sign him, seemingly leaving the player open for a return to Europe. Now, members of the channel already know about this update, but for those who don't, when the Knicks decided not to add Yurtseven to this roster, before that time, we already knew that a number of other teams wanted to add him to their roster. A lot of those teams were international teams. One of those teams was this Greek team, and now it seems like they are now locked in and focused on trying to add Omer Yurtseven to their roster. And if you're asking me, in my opinion, I don't like to see young players, young centers who did play in the NBA have to go back to the EuroLeague. I'm not saying the EuroLeague is a demotion or a downgrade, but if you ask anybody in the EuroLeague, one of the main reasons they want to jump to the NBA is because of that NBA level money. Sometimes a one-year deal of NBA level money could be equivalent to a multi-year contract in the EuroLeague. The numbers are different. It's insane. It's a major selling point for why European players come to the NBA. But not only that, they want to make a name for themselves. They want to carve out a legacy for themselves, because if they can do that, then they can give back to the game in a way they never thought possible before. The NBA unlocks a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities. Everybody understands that, especially European players. For me, because of his age and his skill set, there is no reason why Yurtseven should not be on an NBA roster right now, at least given an opportunity. The Knicks had an open roster spot available. We still have that MLE available. We should have utilized it on Yurtseven, but I trust the Knicks and this front office. If they worked them out and decided he wasn't worth adding to the roster, then I trust that decision. The only question is, who else are they working out? Because you got to remember, that report from Mark Stein said Omer Yurtseven was one of others that were working out for the Knicks. So that means they were looking at other free agents as well. And I'm hoping they were looking at other free agent big men, because that's what we need on this roster right now. The latest updates on Mitchell Robinson are not good. It's likely he's going to miss training camp. He might miss the start of the regular season. If that happens, we're going to need more size, more depth, and more insurance at the center position. The Knicks have an open roster spot remaining. They have access to the MLE. They need to utilize it. Add another backup big to this roster so we can move into next season with a little bit more confidence. And then when we get to the trade deadline, use as many pieces as possible, not our core pieces though, to get another impactful center on this team. And the one center I'm looking at is Jonas Valanciunas. It's rumored that the Knicks are going to have interest in him, and it's also rumored that the Wizards are looking to trade him. And let's not forget, the Knicks have what the Wizards want, their first-round pick. And all it takes is a trade to give them exactly what they want back. And that trade's likely going to happen come December 15th when Preston Achiuwa becomes trade eligible. But we're going to have to wait and see what this Knicks front office and Leon Rose does. But as of right now, it's clear. They are working out different free agents with the idea of using that MLE to sign them to this roster. But what about you guys? What do you think about these latest updates about Julius Randle and his contract extension? What about his trade restrictions? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.